In 1980s Miami, a young man receives mysterious phone calls, dons a mask, and goes on a killing spree.
This is Hotline Miami.
So, Hotline Miami is now available on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita.
It's on everything. You got no reason to complain about it anymore.
It was a PC game, and it was one of our favorites of 2012, so now we can finally talk about it for you guys.
Oh boy, oh boy.
So, Hotline Miami was basically a top-down shooter type of game.
Yeah, and it's, when I first heard about it, just the design, it's a top-down shooter, I wasn't really that excited because, oh, well, I've heard that before, you know?
We've seen our 2D indie games that are sprite-based.
But, like we said before, this is definitely one of my favorite games of 2012.
I definitely think that it is like the whole package. Gameplay, music, graphics.
I was about to say, after playing this game for 10 minutes, I knew it had everything I wanted. It had the design I wanted, it had the music I wanted, the gameplay.
The creativity.
And even that's the biggest part about this game that I love it so much. Right off the bat, I knew it had this kind of trippy, dreamlike narrative. And usually, I love that when video games do it, but sometimes they screw it up. I think this one did it, mixed all this crazy action with this crazy story really well. I thought it was really neat.
And we're happy to say that it works just as well on PlayStation 3 and Vita. There really is no difference between this and the PC game of 2012.
Well, gosh darn. Gosh darn.
There aren't many noticeable differences other than that now it's like a twin-stick shooter, but it works really well on the PlayStation 3 controller.
I had a lot of fun with the mouse controls, but I really wanted it to have it kind of like the two-stick control.
I was like, how is it going to be as quick? It's a very fast-paced, Twitch-based game.
Which is, it brings me to another point. Another reason why I love this game so much is that it is challenging. It's crazy challenging.
But you can't stop playing.
I can't stop playing.
Absolutely
I love it. It's like, you could die 100 times, not even get past the first door, the first guard, I gotta try again! I gotta keep doing it!
It becomes Twitch-based addiction, and I think it just works really well. I think it is really effective and so much fun.
And then, and on top of all of this, it actually drives home a little message about video games.
Absolutely.
And it actually kind of made me sit down and go, wow, that was really clever.
Wow, man, violence. We're not really going to spoil anything, but it kind of takes what story themes were expressed in Spec Ops: The Line and took it to the next level.
Yeah, Spec Ops did something similar. I heard about that.
Yeah. But Hotline Miami did it very effectively, especially with the whole mood that the whole game had.
Yeah.
The way it ended.
With the brutal violence and everything. Yeah,
the way it was so brutal, but then the way it ended kind of threw it on its head.
Tied everything together. And it flipped it. Oh, turned upside down.
So now let's get down to the basic gameplay. It is a game where you bust in. It's essentially a game where you bust into a room full of dudes, and you have to kill them as quickly as possible without taking a hit, because you could die in one hit.
And one of the great things about that is after you get killed a whole lot of times, you kind of have this strategy. It's okay, this guy is walking this way, and this guy is walking that way, so I gotta grab the pool stick and hit this guy before
pick up his gun, blow him away, throw a knife at his face.
And when you execute that all perfectly, you feel like you're a badass, and it's great. I'm a murderer.
It's like the reward you get from pulling off a successful kill spree is incredibly rewarding and sick and dark at the same time.
And throughout the entire game, I never thought there was a snag. I thought that it progressed perfectly.
It was just really well paced because in between every mission there was a little story beat,
little tad bit of story,
which was totally like a weird, ambiguous type of almost artsy type of little storytelling. But it was really cool. It was really effective, and it kind of did introduce you to characters. It kind of gave yourself a sense of what you're doing. Your player every level, you pick up the phone, and they give you a cryptic message who you have to go kill, and then you go kill them.
Yep.
Now, what is really interesting is the masks that you don before you start a mission.
Yeah, I had no idea that before I played it that every single one did a different thing. And I was like, oh, now it just throws the whole strategy thing on its head too. Now I can think oh, this mask does this mask does that.
Now, what I really liked about the PlayStation version was that they added a mask, the Raging Bull mask.
Oh, what does it do?
It doesn't give you more abilities or anything, but it's really interesting because it's like a filter. And it makes the whole game black and white, but any violence and any blood is bright red.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool. It's really cool, and it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you played the PC game already. It's a fun little thing to bring you back to the PlayStation version. Undoubtedly, one of my favorite aspects of this game is the music.
Oh yeah, I think everybody can agree on that.
It's incredible, especially when you have, if you're playing on a TV now, when you have some real bass.
Oh, that's going to be incredible. Yeah, I only use my computer speakers, so yikes.
It's just a really incredible experience that really gives you the tone of the 80s kind of electronica, but still makes it feel cool and relevant today. Yeah. Kind of like what they did in Drive. People relate this game to Drive, and absolutely, soundtrack, visuals, everything. But the music, I think, is a really standout piece of the game.
Yeah, the whole soundtrack is amazing.
So that's what we think of Hotline Miami. It's pretty damn fun. Now, be sure to let us know in the comments what you guys think of the game.
Let us know what kind of things you use to kill people with, what your favorite song or track was, what your favorite mask was, anything.
And let us know what you thought of the story. Did you feel it was as ambiguous and deep as we thought? Let us know anything you had fun with in this game, and that's pretty much it.